Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined today by my lovely, lovable co-host. She may kill me, guys. I've put her through tech hell. We're installing webcams.
No, the last straw was when Danny was like, I need you to waste your expensive contacts every week so the light doesn't reflect off your glasses. I was like, that's where I draw the line.
That's where she finally cracked and was like, firm no.
Yeah.
But
well,
Sarah,
how does it not reflect off of your glasses? I don't understand. I have the non-reflective coating.
You don't even want to know how much time I've spent setting up my stuff here to get it to not reflect. It's nothing short of voodoo, let me tell you. But Sarah, you got to be in good spirits, even though you have an early flight tomorrow, because you're going to the DR, and I love that for you, girl.
I am excited. I mean, I'm kind of sad that the boy won't be there until Thursday. It will be nice to have a day just by myself, because then I can do all the annoying Instagram stuff that he doesn't. He definitely does it, and he never says anything or puts up a fight. But I'm sure it's not his first choice in activity.
I like it. You get to kind of feel the DR, get your Sarah and the DR vibes, and then boom, Boyf is there, and then it's a whole new zone. But you gotta be like, look, I discovered this, I found this. That's fun.
Yes, I get to figure out all my thirst trap angles in advance.
Photographers here, let's go.
Exactly.
I have exactly zero juice, guys. All I can say is I love my Spotify gang. You guys are cracking me up with your poll responses and everything. Can't say enough. It's a joy. It's a joy, folks. Love the comments, and I'm loving the stickers. We have our stickers figured out. A lot of people don't even believe it. They're like, really? Stickers? This is a scam. I'm like, no, really? No. Send your address. Please format it correctly, though. Some of these people, Sarah, it's crazy what they're sending me, their address.
No. How many ways do you format an address? I thought there was one.
You would think, right? But it'll be like Charlie, 147 Main Street, Wyoming, Smith. And I'm like, what? What zip code? Town? How am I supposed to find you, Charlie?
That's weird.
So please don't make me reformat your address, folks, but we will send you stickers. And if you tell me that you're going to distribute the stickers, you better believe I'll send you a ton of stickers, folks.
Yes, let's do some guerrilla marketing. Also, it's not a scam, and we're not going to murder you, because that's the second question.
Very true, very true.
You can't do this podcast from prison. We just got my stuff, guys. We just got my setup.
We just got Sarah her gear, guys.
We just don't have the hookup in prison.
We don't. Yet. We don't. Not yet. We're hoping soon. That's the prayer.
Oh my God. Speaking of prison, I did finally listen to the episode with Jimmy Wispin, and it was very funny.
Oh, I love that app. He's so great.
Yeah. He's just like, oh yeah, I went through all this horrible stuff and I got divorced, and is cracking up while he's saying it. It's just, oh wow, it's very funny.
He's a gem. He is a gem.
Great guy.
Speaking of gem, shouts to our new patrons, Jamie, Grace, AM, Steph, Samantha. Welcome to the pod. We love to see it, folks. Join us on WhatsApp. We're doing fun stuff. It's a wild, wild world. And we got a little letter here to read. This podcast was not only my first podcast, OP writes, it's also one I have an extreme attachment to. I've literally used it as a sleep aid for a few months now, and I likely will be subscribing to the Patreon soon for those sweet, sweet bonus episodes.
Oh, yay.
Danny and Sarah, always just a pickup I'm looking for after a long day. Well, that is just simply wonderful. We really do love to read it, folks. Thank you so much.
Also, as someone who has their own comfort podcast that they listen to fall asleep, wow, oh my God, it's so meaningful that I can pay it forward. No, it's seriously, because I have my little Bravo podcast, Watch What Crappens, and that's what puts me to sleep, kind of, but not in a boring way, but I'm listening to the host and they're my friend and I'm laughing and then I'm asleep. So it's great. I'm very happy to be able to be that for somebody else. It is really the highest compliment you could probably give me.
Yeah. And wait, what was the, what was your pod? What do you call that there? Hobo
Watch What Crappens?
Watch What Crappens?
Yeah, it's Watch What Happens is the show on Bravo with Andy Cohen, but they call it Watch What Crappens.
Oh my God. And what's the what's the premise there?
It's so funny. They just recap Bravo shows, but they use these hilarious voices to imitate all of the housewives, and it's commentary recap. It's very funny.
That is too cute.
We love it.
We love to see it. We love to see it, folks. Well, that's out of the way. Let's play a little bit of Guess the Verdict.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. AITA for inviting my cousin, brother, uncle, and dad, uninviting my cousin, brother, uncle, and dad to my wedding over a prank.
No, not the asshole. You know that prank was horrible.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I won't stand for your trickery. I read half this situation and then was like, okay, no, fuck these people.
Oh, you read this one already.
I think I know I read the title. I'm pretty sure because they have this relationship where they prank people.
Right.
That's all I remember. And then I was like, all right, obviously not the asshole.
Well, you are correct. Here's the story, folks. I got to admit, Sarah called this one as clean as they get. People, F-22 is in a pranking family. Big ol'...
That's a big red flag.
Big old prankers. Okay, so how do these manifest? Well, there's a veritable gang here. Cousin, bro, dad, uncle run tests on OP's fiance, Tim, including probably the only reasonable one, forcing him to play chess 4 times. Weird, but doesn't seem that bad. But then things rapidly escalate. Slash his tires. They ask him questions about controversial political issues. They test his hunting and fishing skills. They call him...
How are these pranks?
I know, right? I think we could do a whole episode on like what actually is a prank. It seems that
a prank is like when my dad goes to open the door and he puts his foot ahead of his face and opens it hard into his foot and acts like he hit himself in the face. Like, that's a prank.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a prank when you're doing something to yourself, but
it is because we all go, oh, well, the first time, and then it never works again. You go like, oh shit, and then it's like, oh, never mind. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's a joke.
Well, they call him slow. They call Tim slow and soft. Tim has asthma. OP is begging them to stop. Okay. And wow, shout out to toxic masculinity entering the chat. Claims this is normal dude behavior. Okay, Dad, is it? OP eventually loses it after they hide his inhaler. Okay, wow, great prank. You almost died.
Yeah, I hate these people.
And then get ready for this. I mean, this is just pure lunacy. Then OP says, look, can you just apologize to Tim? There's maybe some wiggle room. Dad responds, yeah, I'll apologize, but then I'll never respect him. And yeah,
Fuck
OP
off.
is like, I am out for all these reasons, not surprisingly. Top comment went to Miss Teacher 2, NTA. This doesn't sound like pranking, but more like bullying. Who slashes tires as a prank or messes with someone's
insane.
health. These are just big bullies, which...
LOL, like, cut your brake lines. What a funny prank. Like, this, what?
Right?
Oh my God. Horrible, horrible people. Okay, well, speaking of, or maybe not, you'll be the judge. We have AITA for requesting a DNA test.
Oh, wow. You are really the master of these completely lacking information ones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this. God knows I'm not very good at this as parentally related. Somebody is what is again? Asking?
Requesting a DNA test.
Requesting a DNA. I think it's a valid request. So I'm going to say, someone an asshole along the way though.
The real assholes were the friends we made along the way.
Right? Well, it seems like somebody probably cheated.
Sometimes it's true.
I'm going to say NTA and then the other person is.
So I did some true trickery because honestly, the first 2 comments are info, but I'm going to give you the first comment with a verdict. And that verdict is a big fat. I'm not doing this for dramatic effect. Wow. The first 6 comments are info, but the first comment with the verdict is a big fat YTA. So to back up, Opie and his wife are divorcing and we just don't really know why. They used a surrogate for their youngest child, and that youngest child, OP, has never been bothered by it, but just honestly assumed that their egg, sperm, etc. was just mixed up, given the wrong stuff to the surrogate because the kid has blonde hair, blue eyes compared to the family's dark hair, dark eyes. And now listen, as someone in the blonde hair, blue eyes gang with the dark hair, dark eyed family, I'm here to say it is possible, friends.
Hey, recessive genes, they're out there, people.
They are out there. And so so OP was like, it won't change my opinion, but I just kind of want to know, would I be the asshole for requesting a DNA test? And the top comment with a verdict was from Medusa13, interested 2 E's, was YTA, be prepared for this to blow up in your face because all a DNA test does is cause trauma for the child. Your need to know doesn't trump a child's mental health. What is your plan if the results come back? Because if he's yours, you've burned a bridge. And then they're basically like, well, what do you plan to do if there was a mistake with the embryo, blah, blah, blah. So that was AITA.
Interesting. This is quite a hot take. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't make the rules.
No, I definitely didn't get the point. There's no question there, folks.
I kind of am. I think a YTA, because if you're divorcing and you're still going to love your kids and take care of them, I kind of agree. Like, what is the point? That is your kid.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not necessarily going to be a monster just because you're requesting. You're just curious. I mean, I don't think that necessarily follows, but I guess it's a fair enough point. Why go barking up that tree? Why go barking up this tree, Sarah? AITA for refusing to receive, quote unquote, I'm still alive messages.
Sorry?
AITA for refusing to receive, I'm still alive messages.
Wow, you really did dig deep for this one, because I mean, I have some ideas of what this could be, but none that I'm really comfortable saying aloud. Like, I'm still alive. I'm wondering if it's like, oh, you know what? When there's like some disaster that's like 60 miles away from you and you check in that you're safe, you're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. We know.
Right. Like, oh, Sarah marked herself as safe from that time there was like a car that drove through the sidewalk in Times Square. It's like, yeah, Sarah's in Brooklyn. Like,
I think she's fine.
Right. Like, she's doing okay. This bitch never goes to Times Square. So if they were like opting out of that kind of thing, I would say like, not the asshole. But then I'm like, what if this is a friend who has like really bad mental health issues or something? Then I think you maybe would be the asshole. So I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm still alive messages. I'm going to go with a rogue NAH. I never get it right when I go rogue.
Wow. Well, the rogue was right, folks.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
What?
You didn't really read it right, so we might have to take your profit license away. But here's the story. Mom lives in another country. She lives alone. OP lives in like UK or something. She lives in Spain. Grandma is sick, and Mom isn't really updating OP on what's happening. I'm not really clear on what happened. I read this like 5 times trying to understand it, but essentially Mom says Grandma isn't getting any better. Then Mom said, not Grandma, Mom said, quote, I'd like to start sending you a message every morning to let you know that I'm still alive. You don't need to reply, but I want you to read it so I know you've seen it.
What?
I guess Grandma dying got Mom to be concerned about her own mortality. That's kind of my read on what's happening here.
Is she like suicidal? Like, because I'm like, that's concerning.
I think she's just a little old, but OP says, I said that I wouldn't be comfortable sending these messages every day, as there's then an expectation for me to read them each morning. And if I don't, I'm certain she'd call me by 11 a.m. And the whole thing gives OP anxiety. Understandably, pretty heavy text to get. I'm still alive. Good morning.
Crazy.
Okay. Top comment, Candied Apple Crisp writes, NAH, tell her she can just say good morning, have a great day, much more pleasant, and gets the job done just as well.
I feel like we need to dig deeper as to why Mom feels like she needs to send these messages. Like, did they both catch COVID and they're both struggling to breathe? Like, I don't understand.
I don't get it.
That's really bizarre. Okay, in any case, AITA for telling brother-in-law he shouldn't be at a family Christmas dinner because he's not a Christian.
Oh my God. I'm going to just shoot from I already lost people. I'm shooting from the hip here. YTA.
Yes, I know. This one surprised me as well. But what you don't know from the title is that OP has been with her partner for 5 years now. And the brother-in-law, the sister's husband, is honestly fucking obnoxious because basically every time they're together, he makes passive aggressive comments about OP's partner not being in the family because they're not married, and at family dinners being like, oh, are you sure you should be at a family gathering when you're not family?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so here we go. So fast forward to last Christmas. They're having Christmas dinner, and the brother-in-law tried to pull this shit again, being like, what are you doing here? This is a family gathering. And then finally the OP just goes, maybe you shouldn't have come. You're not even a Christian. It's a Christmas dinner. Brother-in-law's Jewish, LOL. Okay, so yes, the top comment from Fragrant Style 2629. NTA, tell them it was a joke and they shouldn't take it seriously. Give them a taste of their own medicine.
Sounds fair to me.
Honestly, as a Jew, 100% fair.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, you blew me out. I believe that is 2-0, right?
That was a good game for me. Thank you.
Wow.
I needed
What a
this today.
game. It's her
Woo.
ep, folks. She deserves it. She's going to the DR. She's on a hot streak. But we too are on a hot streak, people, because we have one heck of an ep for you today, begging you, please rate, review, and subscribe. We're hovering on 4 stars on Spotify. It's killing me. We're going to drop below. We're going to hit 3.9. You know,
why do you say that?
I don't know. We were at 4.1. Now we're at 4. I don't know.
Oh, damn. What did we do?
I'm trying my best. I'm giving out stickers. Please spare me, people. Or not, whatever.
But nobody cares about the Spotify ratings.
Nobody really cares. It is what it is.
And
people.
Also, we're doing a weekly newsletter. So sign up for that. AITApod.substack.com. It's free. It's just more sitches, more commentary. It's really a fun time.
Yeah, and join us on Twitch as well. We're actually live streaming this right now. We're still kind of figuring out our tech lives. We're using Potato for Sarah's camera, but we are going to figure it out.
Thanks.
I mean, it's a pretty good little tater.
I'm trying.
We're trying our best, folks. We really are. And thanks for all the wonderful messages. I'm getting so many glowing messages lately. It's really touching. We simply love to see it.
We do.
And true to my word, folks, we got one heck of an ep. Our second story of the day, AITA, wife keeps opening my window when I've told her I want it dark, which grammatically sounds like one of Sarah's guess the verdict terrorisms.
Right.
But first, people, AITA for telling my mom to get over herself or don't come to my wedding.
Oof. Harsh words.
I, 26M, am getting married this summer to my college sweetheart, Sam. But I am having issues with my parents. I'm an only child, and my parents were together for over 25 years. But I wouldn't consider it a good relationship. My dad was a provider, hard worker, great person, and a fantastic role model. He made great money and was able to let my mom stay home. My mom was a great mom, but as a person, she's selfish.
Okay.
I never saw her show any love to my dad. Wow.
Ouch. Never.
Whew. He was very affectionate and she wasn't. She would spend most of her time shopping and at our neighborhood pool. My mom didn't hate my dad, but seemed to like what he provided more than who he was. I could tell as I grew up that my dad was lonely. Oh, man.
Brutal.
So growing up, my dad had a childhood friend that lived a few states away named Aunt Nicole. Oh, boy. She would come around every so often with her.
That's so sketch. Oh, my God.
That's weird. Okay. Nicole, also a very
boy.
young name for an aunt, but we're just pointing things out here. We're just noticing. That's it. So Aunt Nicole would come around every so often with her husband. Slow your roll. And about 5 years ago, she and her husband divorced and she moved back to our hometown. I was in college during this time. I got a call from my dad to come home about 3.5 years ago. My dad sat me down and told me that he had an affair with Aunt Nicole. Okay, so we smelled what was cooking.
Yeah, we smelled what was cooking. I'm also like, did you need to come home from college? This is an emergency to just hear. That's fucking bizarre to me.
To hear the Nicole news?
Yeah, to hear that your dad is fuck someone else? Okay.
Yeah, it seems weird. Affair with Aunt Nicole and that him and mom were splitting up. I was angry. He let me vent and berate him, always admitting his wrongdoing and not hiding anything. My mom and him went through a nasty divorce with her constantly shit-talking him and trying to F him up financially. Well, it's been 3 years since and things have gotten worse. My mom won't even sit in the same room as my dad. My dad is happy and he's married to Nicole now. Nicole has been awesome to me.
Oh, okay.
And after letting me call her out for her shit behavior, has been treating me as her own for years. We have a tight bond because we've known each other forever. It hasn't even been that many
years.
Hey, she's Aunt Nicole, Sarah. The wedding has turned into a nightmare. Okay, we really leaped there. My mom has started making all these demands. At first, she said she wouldn't come if Nicole was invited. We called her bluff on that. She said that she didn't want to be at the head table with my dad. I said, fine, we'll put him at another table with my fiance's side of the fam. Now she's saying she doesn't want Nicole included in the wedding planning, pictures, rehearsal, only the wedding, and then she has to go because my mom won't be able to quote unquote handle it. Then my mom demanded that Nicole leave the wedding for our mother-son dance. I told her that's ridiculous. She asked for a +1 so she could bring some rando dude she met a month ago. My mom said she won't pay for the wedding. My mom and dad are helping. I'm confused there. If she isn't being taken seriously. What does that mean?
She won't pay for the wedding if she isn't being taken seriously. Right now, mom and dad are paying or
Oh,
helping.
got it. I told her last week to get over herself, that the divorce was just as much her fault as it was my dad's, and I can always have Nicole step in for the mother-son dance if she can't get over herself.
Wow.
Wow, shots fired. My mom's side of the family has heard
Right
about
in
the
the heart.
drama and thinks I'm being an A. My fiance understands the dynamic and is sympathetic to my mom, but thinks it's getting ridiculous. AITA.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. I'm just kind of something about the whole like dad is perfect and mom was an evil witch from the beginning.
Interesting
I
read.
have to side eye a little bit. You say you disagree?
No, I said interesting read. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't feel like OP was trying to hate on mom. I feel like OP was giving an honest thing that she was kind of in a situation she enjoyed. You know, she didn't have to do very much. She was shopping and, she maybe didn't like that all that much.
I guess, but I'm like, if she didn't like dad all that much, why would she like be this upset about the affair?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think culturally, things weren't as empowering for women. Maybe she felt kind of stuck in it. She didn't feel like she was like able to leave, and then, but then she maybe she bonded with him, obviously, and so then he cheated on her, and so it still hurts.
I know. I guess I'm like, or maybe she was a little bit cold because dad clearly was like always trying to smash Aunt Nicole.
And was smashing.
Right. So I'm like, well, maybe that's why she was like reserved emotionally.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sus.
It's very sus. I mean, they definitely didn't sound like they had a good relationship by anybody's standard.
I kind of think OP almost sounds naive in the way that they're painting this story of like again, we smelled what was cooking right away, you know?
Aunt
So I
Nicole.
just, like, I just feel like OP is kind of naive in the way that they're sort of like taking this. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of get why they feel that way, but I also feel for mom. Like, I also think they're being like kind of rude on the concessions. Like, if they don't want to sit at the head table, that's fine. But like, why should you put her on the other side of the family? Like, why can't you put the mom with her own relatives or friends?
No. She says we'll put him at another table. I thought that was very
Oh, you're right.
reasonable.
That is pretty fair.
Mom got what she wanted.
No, you're right. That is fair. I thought they were like, well, fine, we'll put her at with the fee. I was like, why don't you? I was like, don't put her with strangers or not her,
No.
whatever. But no, that's fair. I don't
I
know.
feel like, look, mom is hurt. Understandable that she's hurt. It sounds like she hasn't really,
Yeah.
kind of chewed on the fact that she hasn't recovered. Obviously, she hasn't found someone new. She's with this new guy for a month. I totally get not wanting to go to a wedding alone with your ex there. That's not a good look. That's hard. I get why that's hard.
Right.
So I don't really blame her
Right.
there. But the amount of like pettiness she's deploying is, that falls on her.
Yeah, some of this pettiness is like too much. The table is completely fine. Wanting a +1, I think, is honestly more than fair. Like, this is your mom and she's paying. Like,
Yeah.
let her cough up the extra $150 if you really want to be petty, but that's completely fair. Not wanting her in the pictures, not okay. Not wanting her in the rehearsal, impractical. Like, that's not okay.
It's not okay. Shitsuri writes, I get that you're mad at your mom for being self-centered, and maybe she was at fault in your mind for your dad having an affair or whatever, but what a sad thing to say. No assholes here for not wanting her at her wedding unless she can be civil about you involving Nicole. But I don't see your relationship surviving this. The affair and divorce is so recent, I wouldn't have expected her to pay or even attend under these circumstances. Your glowing relationship with Nicole and her involvement in the wedding planning.
I guess, yeah, that's kind of my vibe is just like OP has always chosen dad. And the way that OP makes it really seem like, oh, I really gave it to them, but over time they proved to me. It's like there wasn't even that much time that has elapsed.
Between
I don't
what? The
know.
end of mom and
Yeah.
dad?
Yeah. Like,
Well,
I
how
don't
long
know.
has it been?
It's like 3 years.
3.5
Like,
years?
I
I
don't
mean, that's
know.
enough to bond with Nicole. It's also
Yeah.
enough to, like, if mom had gone to therapy and been a bit proactive and kind of got her life together, maybe she wouldn't be
I don't think
so.
that like not remarrying in 3 years means that you don't have your life together.
No, it's not that she's not remarried. It's that she's being so petty about this and unable to accept that, like, look, OP bonded with Nicole. Like, you guys had a shit relationship. It sounds like she hasn't processed the relationship.
I mean, I will give you that.
Orchestra of Wolves Love
That's a
this
good one.
username. No assholes here. You can do whatever you want for your wedding. It's your wedding. But I will never understand folks that are like, your partner of X years cheated on you. It's all your fault. And I'm cool with the fact they had an affair, so you should be as well. I never asked my mom to be in the same room as my dad after he cheated on her. If he misses out on weddings and birthdays and celebrations, that's what happens when you decide to have an affair. I think you're cruel to your mom, TBH, but it's your wedding, so go off.
Oh, I think both of these things can be kind of true, but I think this whole like this is very a Reddit response of like you cheated, so shun them forever. Like I don't. It just kind of is situational and depends. I feel like, but I just don't feel like that would necessarily be my perspective.
I mean, damn. I mean, I'm just taking OP on their word here, Sarah. If, she's not showing any affection, are they having sex? Like, there's a difference between someone who cheats.
I just feel like hopefully you don't know if your parents are having sex. Like, assume that
no,
they
of
are.
course, I hope OP doesn't know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's too much of a reach to think, well, why would dad cheat? Well, if they're not having any sex, people have needs, so it's kind of like, obviously that relationship was pretty dysfunctional. I don't know. I'm having a hard time to view him as like a run-of-the-mill cheater given this lack of affection.
Well, I don't think he's like a playboy, but to me there's a difference from like, I don't know, just banging it out with like a random person because you need to get your rocks off and what this probably was, which was like a prolonged affair that also involved emotion.
Yeah, and also
with someone who is close to the family, which is honestly pretty fucked up.
And
like,
someone who was married. No, look, I'm not saying it was okay. I'm just saying in this case, I'm not really going to totally hate dad because I think it sounds complicated. Rice basket.
I mean, I can give, I'm not excusing dad. I can give you the sense of like, this doesn't necessarily need to be like a bar him from your life forever sort of situation. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just feel that, gosh, this is a complicated thing. That's really what it is. And I feel
it's also like he never has tried. You know what bothers me is like he's never really tried to get mom's side of the story.
Oh, is OP a guy this whole time? Oh, I-26M. Yeah, that's fair. I think I'll accept that. We don't know what went down, but like, I don't know. I felt like OP was being pretty dry in their reporting. They're just like, mom wasn't affectionate. That didn't feel like a personal attack. That felt like a statement of fact.
I mean, I don't know. It's like they're not giving mom really any credit in this. So to me, I'm like, I just think OP is like biased clearly towards their dad. So I'm just kind of wondering what's really up, but I can't know. So that's my own conspiracy town.
Pseudonym writes, ESH, your dad had an affair. Nicole was a friend. This was a huge betrayal. Even if your mother wasn't the nicest, I think you're being cruel. I wouldn't attend your wedding if I was her. The affair was 3 years ago. It's very soon. So
depending on how long you are married, I mean, 3 years is kind of soon. But yeah, they're married for over 25 years or together. That's rough.
But then what is OP supposed to do? Not invite dad?
No, I mean, I don't know, but I don't know, could give mom a little grace. They haven't really, it seems like they've only given mom consideration when she's kind of fought for it.
That's fair. I can live with that. I think that's fair. Maybe give mom a little bit more grace. Well put. Yeah, just give her a little more. Maybe don't accommodate her every whim, but give her something extra. Be like, I want to sit right next to you, mom. Make
I think
her
mom
feel
wants
special.
Something special. Exactly. Like she wants the mother-son dance, and like don't throw that in her face and by saying, oh, Nicole's going to do it. Like she's worried Nicole is going to replace her because I think by all of OP's accounts, like it sounds like that's already happening. So I get why mom is sort of acting out in this way. Not that it's like appropriate, but
right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't know where we land here. AITA for telling my mom to get over herself or don't come to my wedding. Where are we on this?
Kind of think it's like an ESH.
Oh, we might be ESH-NH paradox. I mean, I guess, is dad an asshole? It's so complicated. Is the cheating, this gets complicated because your philosophy is to play it as it lays. So then are we going to reach back and call dad an asshole?
Right. I think that's already, to me, it's like a given. I'm not really factoring dad in this situation because the problem is between OP and mom.
I'm leaning NAH on this. I think you hit the nail on the head. You meet me there?
I sure will.
AITA for telling my mom to get over herself or don't come to my wedding. We agree, NAH. And I think we both agree, folks, that therapy is a very powerful thing.
Oh, man.
Which is why I'm so excited to tell you that this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Yeah, people, as we all know, relationships take work. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well. But how often, folks, do we give ourselves the same treatment? You know I'm all about that self-care. You know I'm all about that therapy. You know I once even did double therapists because it's hard to find a good therapist. Well, folks, this month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relation, the one you have with yourself. Yes, people. Yes. I think therapy can be immensely enriching. It can give you insight into your problems and, it can help you grow as a person. It can help your relationships be enhanced. Sarah, do you got my back here?
Oh, obviously. You know I'm in therapy.
Right? Well, BetterHelp is online therapy, offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to, okay? Some of you don't want to. Sarah barely wants to do video on this podcast, so maybe you're like her. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. You can be matched with a therapist. Get this, people, in under 48 hours. That's just plain reasonable. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. Again, this pod is sponsored by BetterHelp and AITA Pod. Listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/AITA Pod. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/AITA Pod. Whew, folks. Gentle reminder to rate, review, subscribe. But hey, we just got an ad, so let's just move right on, people. I'm loving this situation.
Me too.
This sounds to me like a guess the verdict move by Sarah.
I feel like I almost did that, but I think then their comments got a little complicated, and I was like, this is interesting.
Oh my God. AITA, wife keeps opening my window when I've told her I want it dark. Wife and I have been together for 9 years and have 2 kids together. I am a night owl. I chalk this up to a few things. I'm introverted as hell and love my alone time. Being up in the middle of the night until around 5 a.m., usual bedtime, means that my alone time was easy and plentiful, mixed with the fact that if I did need interaction, a lot of my friends were also night owls and we would play games together. Meant to put it plainly, it was a fun time in life. Okay.
My insomnia would like to have a word.
Yeah, your insomnia loves this person. Another part of this was, I don't like the sun. Wow. Okay. My sun addiction would like to have a word. Not in any phobia way, okay? I just really like the dark. I find it cooler, and I hate it when it's hot. Okay, is this person in Arizona? Because I actually do relate with that.
Opie is a vampire.
I love rainy days because it's darker. If it were up to me, I'd have the windows drawn 100% of the time and have the house be dark with nothing more than a screen or small lamp for a little light. Okay, well, I think we need to send OP this BetterHelp link. Good God. My wife is the exact opposite when it comes to light and day/night. Well, she hates the heat, but not to the same degree. She wants windows open and natural light everywhere. We built our house a few years back, and my one request was a study/man cave that was my little space, and she could not do most of the decorating. She could do the decorating for the rest of the house. It was that one room, though, that I had full control over and happily agreed. And before there's any suggestion that this is 100% accurate, I put in my 2C and had veto powers, but she picked our color palettes and basically everything and loved it. Like she would stay up late and wake up happy after doing it and is currently picking out furniture for my parents' new house at their request because she loves it so much.
Okay, she should be an interior decorator. Next.
So I filled this room with everything I ever wanted as a kid, but could neither afford or justify. I love it. At the end of the room, as I would say, a 1.3 by 0.9 window. Okay, a 1 foot window. I keep it shut and keep the blinds drawn, and I put a blanket over it so it's super dark. I do eventually want to put a blockout blind on it. Okay, OP, we get it.
We get it. You're a vampire. You're allergic to the sun.
My wife keeps taking the blanket down, pulling up the blind, and opening the window. Every time I see it, I shut the window and put everything back. I've asked her not to. It's my little space. She has control over everything else in the house that's my spot, and I want it to be dark. And honestly, I want it to have that me smell. Okay, OP, what is going on, mate? It's not a room I want guests in. I shut the door when others are around, but she keeps doing it. I finally, after asking 5 to 10 times, raised my voice and told her to stay out of the room and stop doing what she wanted in my little room. She countered that she didn't have her own little room, and I told her that we spoke about that when we built the house, and she said that our bedroom could be her little space, as I don't do much more than sleep in there, and she said that the bedroom was enough. She says she's just airing out the room, and I told her I want to have it. The me smell makes it an easier place to relax, so AITA for getting annoyed about an open window.
This is not important, but I just think it's funny that OP is like, I filled this room with basically everything I ever wanted as a child. And I'm just thinking like a pool full of jelly beans. Like, what else is in there?
Yeah, we didn't really get to know too much about OP.
Except that they hate light.
They hate light. I mean,
That's it.
they
and
hate
they love
light.
the way that they smell, which is like, honestly, kind of a flex.
Weird. I mean, I'm very concerned about OP's general mental health, this craving for darkness. Nonetheless, I don't want to impart my own values here. It's perfectly plausible to me that a non-vampire could simply love the dark, and there's certain times when I at least can understand this. And I definitely relate with the importance of having your own space. And I actually feel like, if OP is at least to be trusted, that this was a pretty reasonable split of the house. He wanted his man cave, and he said the rest of the place is yours, including the bedroom. I mean, that seems like a pretty fair split. She agreed to it. Sarah, are you with me?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair split. I don't really know if the bedroom is really her room because he also sleeps there. But I guess I just will say that I think airing out the room is necessary,
Because
perfectly appropriate.
why is that necessary? That feels like a reach.
I think any room, if you let it go unaired out, is going to smell disgusting after a certain point.
Okay, I mean, I can go with you. I don't feel like that's OP's primary gripe. I think his primary gripe is his tiny window being opened.
But I guess, well, to that end, I'm like, it's not going to, like, make the room lighter permanently. Like, just, you can close it again.
Yeah, but she's disrespecting his space. They had an agreement about the space. It's a boundary cross. It was an agreement. She's blatantly walking on it over and over.
But do you think that she knew that what he wanted from his space was this, like, musty-ass room that never got fresh air?
It's his space. It's his space. She agreed to give it to him. He's asked 5 to 10 times, which I'll give you this. That is a big range. Is it 10 or is it 5? How many is it, OP? It's a little sus.
I mean, I guess that is a big range. I guess I don't know. I kind of am feeling like, well, I don't know if your boundary should, like, necessarily trump hygiene. Like, I do feel like it's okay to air out the room every once in a while.
But then why not respect him and then put the window back the way he likes it? I think this is disrespectful. And I don't think it's a health hazard. I think you're reaching. What, mold? I mean, what's going to happen? That's how he likes it.
I think it's gross. It gets, like, mildewy and gross.
I
don't know.
I think there's a more respectful way she could say that, though. Rather than go in and violate a space, she could just be like, yo, it's nasty in there. So you're either going to clean it up because I don't want mildew in my house, or I'm going to go in there and be respectful. I think she's being disrespectful.
I mean, that's fair. I think they also need to, like, work out this bedroom division. Like, I feel like he's kind of holding it against her that she decorated the rest of the house, but it's like, bro, you have 2 children. You can't live in a bat cave. Like, that is not a realistic expectation for the rest of your house.
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, I'm with you that this doesn't seem sustainable. I would even go farther and say it doesn't seem quite healthy, this aversion to daylight and this kind of need for this, like, very dark man cave. But I'm not ultimately here to judge. It does seem a little odd to me, maybe worth looking into. But I kind of know where I sit here. But let's read some of these comments. Working River 641.
Yeah, you're not gonna like the comments, I feel like.
Soft ESH. OP is a little bit of an asshole because it's really not that big of a deal to close the blinds. But as someone whose mother constantly invades my personal space and disrespected my boundaries, I also understand the frustration of setting a boundary and having it be ignored. I would use the word violated. Wife is also a little bit asshole for crossing those boundaries and under the assumption that OP didn't leave anything out and wife is reasonable, potentially poor communication. I don't see why a reasonable person would go and change a space she doesn't actually need to interact with unless it's somehow affecting her. I mean, I think some people have issues with boundaries. I mean, and by the way, because of the fact that it is weird, right? Like you said, I mean, look, I think it's a little unhygienic. It's a little dark. It's literally a man cave. That's a little gross. Yeah. So I understand wife's impulse. I do. I'm not ready to throw a personality disorder at her, but I think you do have to respect people's weird vampire boundaries. If that's what they have and that's what you agreed to, you can't just walk all over that shit.
I guess I can go with you on that.
Here we go. Well, we got a YTA, and as Tulkus, YTA, you smell up more than your single room. I shudder at the thought of walking down your hallway, and the humidity is probably messing up the walls. When you're not in the room, it needs to air out, point blank. Also, you're a major asshole for raising your voice at your wife over this. Learned adult communication skills. No.
If you're going to say that, then you can also say, like, she needs to learn communication skills by not just, like, continually doing something he's asked her not to do.
Oh, my God, guys. That's it. The podcast is a success. That's exactly what I was going to say. And I know me, the only time I raise my voice is when I feel like I'm not being heard. And this is that. This is exactly that. He's like, yo, how many times do I have to say it? No radish. YTA, grow up. Let her vent the house, close the window, and shut everything down when you're in it. You have your room. Don't act like a child. Unless she's doing this while you're in the room, you are the asshole. No, I don't think so. I think that if he is going to grow up, it should be in the context of her having a conversation like, I'm concerned about this damaging the walls. You don't realize the smell actually exits your little man cave and it gets into the vents and stuff. I could smell it up here, and I don't like your smell, even though you seem to like it so much, OP. But you need to respect people's boundaries, even if they're vampire boundaries, and that's where I'm stuck.
I guess to one point, like, I just feel like they need a conversation because he's sort of equating her, like, decorating the house with controlling the house. And, like, she is just, like, I don't know. It just seems like there's this, like, control issue.
Right.
Does that make any sense? Where it's just like, okay, I want it to have the me smell. I don't want guests in. Okay, that's fine. Like, not wanting guests in the room is fine. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like to air out the room and, like, equating that to control, and she's controlling everything else in the house. Like, I feel like we're going far there.
Hey, look, I'm with you. I think OP has an odd mentality. I think it's very strange to like the darkness.
He wants to live in an all black house, like he's Dwight Schrute. And I think he's resentful of the fact that his wife does not want to live that way.
Sure. And I think OP wants to play his video games all night, and there could be other issues that we're not even hearing about.
That could also be a problem, yeah, because it's like you can't be taking care of kids and playing video games with your friends until 5 a.m, because 5 a.m. is when they, like, wake up for school, basically.
Absolutely. When is your time for your family? Look, there's all kinds of issues with OP. But on the matter of AITA, wife keeps opening my window when I told her I want it dark. I will grant OP is an oddball. I will grant OP probably needs therapy, but I'm still going NTA and wife is.
I guess.
Wow.
I don't want to fight on it. Like, I don't know. I kind of sneakily, like, agree with a lot of Reddit, but I also see your side, and I don't really have anything to go on to argue the case.
I don't know if I've worn her down. All I know is I got what I wanted, people. So we agree.
Sometimes that's just as rewarding.
Love it. We agree. It's NTA. All right, people. Well, we're going to wrap it up here on a little tiny listener submish. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and join us on Patreon. Join the newsletter, which is great, by the way. Sarah handled that, and we have we had a writer write some of that too.
We sure did. Shouts out to Jenna.
Jenna, thank you so much. I love the newsletter. We are so excited about this. Join us on Twitch, whatever. Check all the links and stuff if you want to hook up with us more. There we go. Channeling my father.
My dad? I was going to say. Okay.
Had to do it, people. AITA for wearing white to a wedding. Ooh.
Oh, this one is actually interesting, though, so bear with me.
I, 28M, recently went to a wed and wore a suit jacket with navy blue pants, but my suit jacket was white. Is this bad? I'm a guy, and I thought the whole not wearing white thing was kind of about women not wearing white dresses and being mistaken for the bride. I was pretty sure nobody was going to think I'm the bride. That would be very funny. Are you the bride? No, you're the bride, right? Maybe at a wedding with 2 grooms, I wouldn't do this, but this was a straight people wedding. It was at a yacht club, and my date thought I looked good, but then a few people said I shouldn't have worn white. Is this a rule, and should I apologize to the bride? This is great.
So, I mean, I did think this was pretty interesting because I think OP is, like, technically right in that rule is more applied to women, but I was thinking about it, and I also, like, looked at the knot, and there's no real reason it doesn't apply to men. Like, the knot just says, it's perfectly appropriate to wear a white dress shirt under a tuxedo or suit jacket. It's also acceptable to wear a dress or jumpsuit with a hint of white as long as it's not the main color. I think a suit jacket, is that what that was? I think is kind of the main color. And I get what OP is doing. I don't think it's like a huge grave offense, but I'm also in a situation where it's like, if you're not sure, I don't think that this is the gamble that you take.
I'm with you. I think really the only question for me is, this is a breach of etiquette. Certainly. Does it cross into a-hole territory? I think that is a harder case for me to make. I mean,
what kind of territory?
If it crosses from etiquette breach into you're an asshole, right?
But I think the asshole thing gets applied pretty liberally when like you talk about these things.
Do you think the
like
average
it's not a character
bride,
judgment?
Yeah. But do you think the average bride is going to have a very big reaction to this? Because I kind of am. Tell me.
I can't say because I know how I would be, but I also know that like brides I feel like so many brides just get like some weird like bridal mental like bug, honestly. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And like you have otherwise pretty normal people just acting very like outrageous. Like, I mean, it's half the situations on Reddit that we cover. Personally, I would maybe like side eye the person, but I just don't know if I would like make a federal case about it. I'd probably rib them for like years to come.
So you are ready to go on this because it's risky. There's no doubt that it's risky. It seems like a pretty obvious breach of etiquette. Why would you go for the white suit?
Yeah, I just like, it's not like, oh, you're a horrible person and whatever, but it's just like, you know what? You shouldn't have taken this risk on this. And I think like not wearing white to a wedding is like a very well-known etiquette rule in the United States. And this person knew that rule, but kind of thought that rule didn't apply to them. And I kind of feel like if you had knowledge of the rule, you should have just like worn something else.
I'm with you. I mean, look, I would never take this risk. And so
it's like, it's needless. I think that's what it is. It's like, it's really a needless risk. I'm reminded of that Kelly quote from The Office where she wears white to like Phyllis's wedding. And they're like, why you can't wear white to a wedding? And she goes, it was an emergency. I look really good in white. Like, I'm just like, why did you need to do that?
Fair enough. I think it's maybe a soft YTA, but AITA for wearing white to a wedding. We agree. YTA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. It's like, I'm interested in like, if I think OP should apologize, because it's kind of like, I don't know. I kind of don't like to make an issue out of things that like might not be an issue, but maybe feel it out with the friends who said that they shouldn't have worn white and be like, oh, is the bride mad? And then if she's mad, just apologize.
Yeah.
If she's not, I would just be like, maybe just hope she never mentions it.
Right. She noticed though. She definitely noticed.
Oh, she obviously noticed.
She noticed. She wakes up in a cold sweat. I see him.
His suit jacket.
The man in the white suit.
Oh my God. It wasn't the whole suit though, right? It was just the jacket.
It was just the jacket, but he was playing with fire. He knew it. And you know what?
It's not the gravest defense.
I was just at a wedding and I saw someone wearing a pretty white dress. It wasn't totally white, but it was pretty white. And it's like,
if it's off-white, don't do it. I've definitely seen people like push the boundaries a lot at weddings lately where like I've been surprised. Like a dress that's the background is white and there's like some floral on it.
Yes, that's what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. Yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too, and I've been surprised because I have like a jumpsuit that is white,
right?
Primary background color with like blue flowers on it, and I was gonna wear it to a wedding, and then I was like, no, you doofus, you can't wear white, so I didn't. And I've seen stuff like that, and I've been pretty surprised.
It's not okay. It's not your day. It's one color, people. Can we handle this? I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. No, that's so funny.
So funny. Well, OP, I bet you look sharp. Send us the picture if you got it. Now I'm curious.
We love a white and navy combo.
That's a good combo. Very, very naval, which we love to see, folks.
We sure do.
All right, guys. Well, that's the ep, Sarah. I wish you a wonderful trip in the DR, and we will see you guys next Monday morning. Bye.
Bye.